Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 54 based on novel. So let's start. Evil black chi that could cover the sky and land swept out from under the volcano. Under the corrosion of this black chi, the volcano created from the 8 burning sky gates started to dissolve at an astonishing rate. This continued for several minutes before 3 black rays of light shot out from the base of the volcano, directly piercing through the volcano itself. 3 figures slowly surfaced within the black rays of light. A grave expression appeared on Lin Dong's face as he stared at the 3 figures within the black light. These figures were the Hu Yuan trio. However, at this moment, the trio was completely different from before. The eyes of the trio had sunk in quite a bit while evil black chi filled their pupils. In addition, black patterns extended across their faces and any uncovered skin like spider webs. When seen from afar, it gave the trio a strange and sinister feeling. Following the appearance of these to their bodies, the auras of the Hu Yuan trio also became extremely dark and evil. At the same time, the power radiating from them grew much stronger than before. Heh, Lin Dong. To have forced us to activate the Devil Seed, you truly have some ability. Black patterns covered Hu Yuan's face as he stared at Lin Dong in a ghastly and eerie manner. A strange chilling smile rose from the corners of his mouth as he slowly spoke. Lin Dong indifferently gazed upon the transformed trio. Although he did not know what the Devil Seed Hu Yuan spoke about was, the level of vigilance within his heart was raised to a higher level. He felt danger from the bodies of the current Hu Yuan trio. Bang! Lin Dong extended his hand and suddenly clenched it. The 8 burning sky gates in the sky slowly started to revolve once again as scorching and rampaging fluctuations continuously surged from them. The 8 burning sky gates violently jerked. Scarlet red light blossomed as 8 scarlet red rays abruptly shot out from within each gate. Akin 8 streams of lava that linked the heavens to the earth, they shot towards the Hu Yuan trio at lightning speed. Looks of amusement appeared on the faces of the trio as they looked at Lin Dong's attack. Curled fingers were thrust forward as 3 rays of black light instantly shot out, before transforming into a black light net in the air. As the fiery lava pillars smashed against the black light net, ear-piercing sounds instant rang out. White smoke rose into the sky, and one could see that the berserk fiery lava pillars were unexpectedly unable to break the black light net. Since you have forced us to use our greatest secret, do you think that you will still be able to live past today? Li Lei grinned at Lin Dong. His smile was sinister and eerie. Soon after, he stepped forward as numerous afterimages appeared in a flash. His body had pierced through the scarlet red light screen in a ghost-like manner and appeared in front of Lin Dong as he grabbed at the latter. As Li Lei's palm swept forth, Lin Dong discovered that the hands of the former seemed to have grown a size larger. His 5 slender fingers were like blades and black light swirled at his fingertips. It seemed as if even space itself was sliced apart. Looking at this spectre-like attack from Li Lei, Lin Dong clenched his hand as the lightning emperor scepter appeared in a flash. Tilting his body forward, he sent it smashing heavily against Li Lei's incoming claw. Bang! A low and deep sound resounded. Lightning bolts erupted berserkly from the lightning emperor scepter, continuously defending against the corrosive black chi from Li Lei's palm. Rumble. The gigantic force transmitted from the body of the scepter caused Lin Dong's eyes to slightly harden. With a jerk of the scepter, it left behind an afterimage as it swiftly thrust at Li Lei's fatal points. However, in the face of Lin Dong's attack, Li Lei didn't show any signs of evading. His slender blade-like hands directly clashed against the lightning emperor scepter, causing sparks to fly as they shot out in all directions. The berserk force caused space to become somewhat distorted. After activating the so-called Devil Seed, the strength of this Li Lei had already exceeded the boundary of an ordinary initial profound death stage expert. In fact, it had already touched the advanced profound death stage. Due to this, even the current Lin Dong was unable to be as calm as before. Moreover, while Lin Dong was busy with Li Lei, the remaining 2 had completely destroyed the array that previously enveloped them. Their bodies swept forth and appeared on the left and right of Lin Dong. Their eyes were filled with mockery and cold maliciousness. Lin Dong, just dealing with one of us is already your limit. If the two of us were to also enter the fight, how will you survive? Hu Yuan softly spoke in a mocking tone as he grinned at Lin Dong, who was engaging in a bitter fight with Li Lei. Scram! Lin Dong's gaze turned grim as he suddenly took a step forward. 30 green dragon-like tattoos burst out from his body while resplendent lightning flickered on the lightning emperor scepter. The 30 green dragon-like tattoos adhered themselves to the lightning emperor scepter, and with the sound of deafening thunder, it smashed against the black cheek-crossed arms of Li Lei at lightning speed. Boom! A low and deep sound resounded out as an energy wave that was visible to the naked eye rippled outwards. Li Lei was sent flew dozens of meters backwards while fresh blood dripped from his arms that were as tough as steel. After pushing Li Lei back with a swing of his scepter, without being about to follow and pursue him, piercing whoosh sounds suddenly emerged from Lin Dong's back. Two exceedingly swift and fierce forces headed straight for his vitals. Obviously, the other two had already attacked. Sensing the swift and fierce attacks from behind, Lin Dong's expression instantly sunk. He swung the lightning emperor scepter in a wide arc as a lightning dragon scepter image flew out, viciously clashing against the two incoming forces. Bang! Lightning rampaged while Lin Dong took the chance to retreat. In the next instant, the Hu Yuan duo floated out from the lightning. Mocking looks were revealed on their faces as they stared at Lin Dong and said, "Stop your meaningless resistance. Yimo Chi isn't something that ordinary Yuan power can defend against. These attacks of yours are simply unable to break through the Yimo Chi within our bodies. Since you know about the existence of Yimos, you should also that to completely wipe out Yimos. Besides absolute strength, you also need to have either divine objects or the ancestral symbols. As for the burning sky cauldron and the lightning emperor scepter in your hands, they do not seem to have reached that level." A strange laughter rang out from Li Lei as he spoke. Lin Dong coldly stared at the Hu Yuan trio. Soon after, he nodded his head as an arc appeared from the corners of his mouth. "Indeed, I am weaker than the three of you. If I want to kill you, I will have to rely on the power of divine objects." Hu Yuan crossed his arms in front of his chest. His gaze was playful as he stared at Lin Dong and said, "Surrender. This way your death will not be too painful. Do you want to know why Mo Luo permitted me to enter the Thunder World?" Raising his head, Lin Dong's pitch-black eyes seemed to have become even deeper at this moment. A faint frown appeared on the foreheads of the Hu Yuan trio while a sliver of unease unknowingly rose within their hearts. "That's because I'm also an ancestral symbol controller." When these words gently rang out from Lin Dong's mouth, the faces of the Hu Yuan trio instantly contorted violently. As their faces contorted violently, black light that blotted the sky suddenly swept out the crown of Lin Dong's head. As it shot into the sky, it transformed into a gigantic slowly revolving black hole. Darkness surfaced from the depths of the black hole while an ancient symbol was faintly discernible. "This is the devouring ancestral symbol." The Hu Yuan trio gazed upon the black hole vortex in front of them. Shock and horror finally appeared on their faces for the first time. Even their voices had suddenly turned much more piercing at this moment. With the devil seed protecting their bodies, ordinary experts would practically be unable to kill them. This was the reason why they acted so domineering. However, they knew extremely well that the 8 great ancestral symbols that existed in this world was more than capable of completely annihilating them. How is this possible? How can the devouring ancestral symbol be in your hands? Shock and horror appeared on Hu Yuan's contorted face. In the next moment, he could not help but roar in a low voice. His current appearance no longer had any trace of the calmness and maliciousness he had displayed before. "It is not only the devouring ancestral symbol." Lowering his head, Lin Dong revealed a bone-chilling smile at the Hu Yuan trio. In the next instant, with a clench of his hand, a resplendent lightning glow suddenly erupted from his palm. Rumble. As lightning surged out, the area immediately turned dark. Thunderclouds started to strangely appear in the sky while a frightening pressure stealthily spread. The lightning glow in Lin Dong's hand grew increasingly bright, before a cluster of lightning surfaced appeared. Within the cluster of lightning was a faintly discernible ancient thunderbolt. The boundless and ancient fluctuations radiating from it was exactly the same as the devouring ancestral symbol. Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. Seeing the cluster of lightning in Lin Dong's hand, terror and dread finally gushed out from the depths of the Hu Yuan trio's hearts. An unusually powerful ripple spread across the area. The violent scorching energy contained within the cauldron diminished greatly at this moment. This was because of the pressure created by the two great ancestral symbols. Lin Dong stood in the air while a black hole rotated above his head. Above it was a churning thundercloud. Terrifying thunder rumbled and echoed, causing one's heart and soul to tremble. Devouring ancestral symbol. Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. The Hu Yuan trio's expressions were twisted as they looked at the two ancestral symbols emitting ancient, vast and mighty fluctuations in the sky. They could not help but be terrified as they howled, "Impossible! How can you possess two ancestral symbols?" The Hu Yuan trio could not be blamed for losing themselves because of their fear. There were only 8 ancestral symbols in this world. If an ordinary person was to obtain even one of them, he would definitely be a peak-level expert when he matured. For example, Mo Luo controlled the blazing ancestral symbol and was currently an overlord of the chaotic demon sea that no one dared to easily provoke. It was precisely because the ancestral symbols were rare and powerful that the emotions within the Hu Yuan trio's hearts churned like wild ocean waves when they saw that Lin Dong possessed 2 ancestral symbols. Lin Dong lowered his head. At this moment, a pitch-black color had surfaced in one of his eyes. Black light rotated within it like a black hole that could swallow even one's sight. The other eye was as bright as silver. Lightning flashed within it, and it appeared as if it was an ever-changing world of lightning. A black and a silver eye quietly stared at the distorted expressions of the Hu Yuan trio. Under the attention of his flat gaze, the Hu Yuan trio felt their scalps turn numb while the dread within their hearts surged out in waves like floodwaters. They were well aware just how the ancestral symbols were able to restrain the Yimo. At present, Lin Dong, who wielded the power of 2 ancestral symbols, was clearly able to easily kill them. "Leave!" Hu Yuan's eyes flashed and cried out decisively. Although the strength of the 3 of them far exceeded that of Lin Dong, they understood in their hearts that if Lin Dong really used the power of the 2 great ancestral symbols, it would be difficult for them to escape alive. The Li Lei duo revealed frightened expressions after hearing Hu Yuan's cry. Their bodies moved with the intentions of separating. "Since I have exposed the ancestral symbols, how can I possibly allow you to escape?" Lin Dong looked at the trio who wanted to flee and merely faintly smiled. Lin Dong had not even dared to use the power of the ancestral symbol when he was pushed to such a state by the 3 great sect masters of the Yuan Gate back then. One reason was because he understood the huge gap between them was not something that the devouring ancestral symbol could not make up for. The second was that Lin Dong did not wish to expose the matter of him being in possession of the devouring ancestral symbol. Otherwise, if the news were to spread, Lin Dong would be targeted by countless people even in this chaotic demon sea. The reason that Lin Dong had now exposed the 2 great ancestral symbol was naturally because he had absolute confidence in killing the Hu Yuan trio. Otherwise, if news spread, he would really end up attracting an insanely huge trouble. Devouring ancestral symbol, devouring chains. Lin Dong's slender hand was extended. It was suddenly clenched as a flat voice was emitted from within his mouth. Crash! After his voice sounded, one could only watch as countless black light threads suddenly burst out from the rotating black hole in the sky. The black light gathered together, transforming into numerous black chains. Devouring power quickly surged from the chains. Any energy that the chains came into contact with would be forcefully swallowed to strengthen themselves. Black chains shot out in all directions. Their speed was so quick that it was somewhat terrifying. In a flash, they appeared above the Hu Yuan trio. After which, they ruthlessly pierced towards the ground. The sorry figures of the Hu Yuan trio hastily dodged the black chains formed by devouring power. The devouring power from the chains caused them to feel extremely terrible. After all, the ancestral symbol's power greatly restrained the Yimo Chi. The trio had clearly raised their speed to the limit. However, the speed at which those devouring chains gave chase was even faster. Within a short period of time, traces of blood had begun to appear on the 3 of them. This caused them to appear relatively miserable. Lin Dong's expression was indifferent as he looked at the Hu Yuan trio, who had become rather miserable under the attacks by the countless devouring chains. Although his current self could not possibly reach Mo Luo's level of mastery over the blazing ancestral symbol where he could incinerate the sky and boil the sea, it was not too troublesome for Lin Dong to deal with the Hu Yuan trio. No one dared to underestimate the strength of the ancestral symbol. However, the Lin Dong of the past simply did not dare to use it so casually. Devouring Vortex Prison. Lin Dong's hand seal suddenly changed and the devouring chain sipping past the Hu Yuan trio suddenly froze. Black light dispersed, directly turned into swirling black holes. Powerful devouring power emerged from within them, forming a relatively strange devouring magnetic field. The Hu Yuan trio were at its center. Their bodies had completely come to a stop because of the devouring power which came from all directions. The current situation of the trio was quite comical. Hundreds of black hole vortexes surrounded them. As the black holes rotated, devouring power was dispersed in all directions. It was just like a prison which restrained them until they could not move. Damn it! This strange scene caused the expressions of the Hu Yuan trio to change drastically. However, regardless of how they mannered their Yuan power, their bodies were unable to move. Lin Dong's expression was indifferent as he looked at the now restrained trio. With a clench of his hand, the thunderbolt ancestral symbol within it suddenly rose into the air. After which, it rushed into the thunderclouds in the sky. Rumble. The thunderclouds began to churn wildly after the thunderbolt ancestral symbols shot into them. Terrifying rumbling thunder spread while accompanied by a frightening fluctuation. Lightning judgment. The lightning light within Lin Dong's right eye suddenly intensified. His ice-cold voice was just like the judgment of divine beings as it resounded across the area. Boom! Thunderbolts crazily gathered within the thunderclouds as Lin Dong's ice-cold voice reverberated. Subsequently, a titanic lightning spear was slowly revealed from within the thunderclouds like a weapon that could destroy the world. Quickly after, it shot straight at the Hu Yuan trio. Bang bang bang! The ice-cold lightning spear whistled past the land as the ground below split apart at this moment. The Hu Yuan trio had terrified faces as they looked at the rapidly magnifying lightning spear in a hopeless fashion. They could feel a rich scent of death from it. Bang! Li Lei's body was first to be struck by the lightning spear. The horror on his face had only just appeared before it suddenly stilled. In the next moment, his body exploded with a bang. Black light spread. The miserable cry of Li Lei swiftly disappeared amidst the spreading lightning light and devouring power. Chen Ling soon followed after Li Lei was destroyed in an instant. The ice-cold lightning spear was akin to the judgment spear of the lightning god that brought death to them. Lin Dong, you possess two great ancestral symbols. Sooner or later, you will end up dying a miserable death. Hu Yuan roared. Those eyes of his still contained rich horror. Lin Dong's face did not have any emotion. His hand was slowly swung downwards and the lightning spear ruthlessly penetrated Hu Yuan's body. Even if I die, I will not let you off. Hu Yuan was drenched in blood. His skin had split open, revealing bloody lines as he roared in maniacally. Suddenly, his head exploded and a unique ripple appeared. Lin Dong, he has... That unique ripple was extremely strange. Once it appeared, it carried a sliver of Hu Yuan's Yuan spirit and attempted to penetrate through space to escape. Bang! However, that ripple was just about to split space and escape when a 1,000 feet large thunderbolt suddenly descended from the sky and ruthlessly smashed onto it. That trace of Yuan spirit from Hu Yuan had also been completely blasted apart. The Yuan spirit message that was placed on it was also destroyed. Hu Yuan's Yuan spirit was destroyed, but that unique ripple did not disappear. It continued to carry the unfinished message from Hu Yuan as it penetrated through space and swiftly disappeared. Lin Dong frowned as he looked at the ripple that had escaped. He was aware that it was a certain method of sending a message. However, he did not know whether Hu Yuan was sending the message to the Yuan Gate or those Yimo. Fortunately, Hu Yuan was only able to transmit an incomplete and unclear message. Lin Dong let out a deep breath as the black light and lightning glow in his eyes began to disappear. Fatigue quickly rose within him but was quickly forcefully suppressed. Clearly, using the two great ancestral symbols was greatly exhausting to the current Lin Dong. Lin Dong waved his hand and the two great ancestral symbols once again returned to his Niwen palace. He coldly looked at the now empty space below. The result of him using the two great ancestral symbols this time was satisfactory. The previous generation of the Yuan Gate Three Little Kings had finally died in Lin Dong's hands, just like the Yuan Kang trio. It was likely that another great commotion would occur if this news spread to the eastern Xian region. Many figures floated in the sky above the Sky Lightning Island. There were also many figures on the surrounding mountains and large trees. At the moment, their eyes were all locked on a huge crimson cauldron, seated quietly in the sky in front of them. Waves after waves of majestic and hot energy ripples continuously radiated out from within it. Half an hour had passed since Lin Dong and the Hu Yuan trio entered the burning sky cauldron. However, not a single person had left the cauldron. This aroused the curiosity of everyone present. They really wanted to find out who had gained the upper hand in this fight. It has been such a long time, however, the victor has yet to be decided. The middle-aged man from the mysterious sky hall knitted his brow slightly as he stared at the burning sky cauldron before he softly said, "The trio from the Yuan Gate are extremely powerful. It is likely that they have reached the peak of initial profound death stage. If it is a one-on-one fight, it is likely that we will not be able to defeat any one of them." The other initial profound death stage expert slowly said. Right now, the three of them have joined forces. Even though Lin Dong is extremely powerful, it would be quite difficult for him to defeat them. If we had joined forces with them, it should not be difficult for us to finish Lin Dong off. The middle-aged man glanced at Liu Xiaoxuan by the side. It was obvious that he did not understand why she had stopped them previously. Though Liu Xiaoxuan did not reply after hearing their words, her red lips were curled slightly. She was also aware that the trio from the Yuan Gate were extraordinary individuals. However, her sharp senses detected a danger that drilled deep into her bones, radiating from Lin Dong's body. This dangerous sensation caused a chill to vaguely appear in her heart. She was unaware of the exact source that this sensation stemmed from. However, she had a great deal of confidence in her intuition. It was precisely this reason why she chose to step in and stop the mysterious Sky Hall from attacking Lin Dong at the very last moment. Hence, Liu Xiaoxuan did not rebut while she was being questioned by the middle-aged man. She was aware that the results would appear very soon. The burning sky cauldron floating in the sky, which had been quiet for a long time, finally emitted a humming sound while Liu Xiaoxuan's pretty eyes flickered gently. Crimson light swept from it before many pairs of eyes on the island rotated immediately. Their eyes were filled with curiosity and anxiousness. A light suddenly shot out from within the burning sky cauldron under the many pairs of excited eyes. It quickly turned into a skinny figure in front of their sight. All eyes gathered on that figure. The young man had a tall and slightly lean body. His young face did not have an overly sharp aura. However, it was the emergence of this ordinary-looking man that caused everyone to be stunned. Lin Dong. Traces of shock quietly climbed out from many pair of eyes. Everyone knew what had occurred after witnessing this young man emerge unscathed. Big brother Lin Dong. Mu Lingshan, who was a little impatient from waiting, revealed a joy within her large eyes after she saw Lin Dong emerge. She quickly approached him. After which, she glanced at the burning sky cauldron in a somewhat stunned fashion and asked, "Where are the three of them?" "I've dealt with them." Lin Dong grinned. His smile appeared gentle, but the words he spoke caused the atmosphere in the Sky Lightning Island to solidify. Some gulping noises continuously sounded out. This outcome had clearly exceeded everyone's expectations. Everyone present were clearly aware of the strength of the Hu Yuan trio. Strictly speaking, the three of them were definitely stronger than the two elders from the Nine Serene Gate. In their opinion, regardless of how powerful Lin Dong was, he would at the very most only be able to force a draw against the Hu Yuan trio. As for killing them, it would be nearly impossible. However, this seemingly impossible scenario had currently occurred in front of them. The shock that it caused could not be described with words. The Sky Lightning Island was completely quiet. Those people, who were originally targeting the treasures in Lin Dong's hand, finally began to suppress the greed in their hearts as they stared at the seemingly gentle smile from the young man. Although the experts present in this place were fairly skilled, it was impossible for them to remain calm in front of this ruthless person who managed to kill 5 initial profound death stage experts in half a day. The middle-aged expert from the mysterious Sky Hall also had a stunned expression as he looked at the young man. Half a moment later, a tinge of fear surged out from deep within his eyes. "Are you still doubting my words now?" Standing beside him, Liu Xiangshuan gently inhaled a breath of air at this moment. Her voluminous chest rose and fell as she spoke in a faint voice. The middle-aged man's mouth was a little dry. Immediately, he turned his head and exchanged glances with the other initial profound death stage expert. They could both see a shock that could not be concealed from the other party's eyes. They were 3 peak initial profound death stage experts. If those 3 were to join forces, it was likely that they could even rival an advanced profound death stage expert. However, all of them were actually killed by Lin Dong, who was only at perfect profound life stage. Just what terrifying techniques did he use? We should avoid provoking Lin Dong in the future, Liu Xiangshuan softly said. The middle-aged man nodded with great difficulty. Given the fighting strength that Lin Dong had displayed, even some of the older generation experts would have difficulties matching up to him. It was likely that with his abilities, he was a demon-like existence who could definitely match or even surpass the top 10 individuals on the chaotic demon sea rookie list. If it was not possible to eliminate a person with such potential, having him as your acquaintance is definitely better than having him as your enemy. Hovering in the sky, Lin Dong waved his sleeve. Following which, the burning sky cauldron transformed into a bright red light and rushed into his body. After which, he turned his head and looked at the many experts on the Sky Lightning Island. Those experts did not dare to exchange glances with him in the face of his calm eyes. All of their eyes flickered as they hurriedly looked away. "Everyone, is there still anyone else who wants to fight with me?" Lin Dong laughed as he calmly asked. Some of the experts laughed dryly upon hearing this. The greed in their eyes were wisely suppressed by them. After having witnessed the shocking techniques that Lin Dong had displayed, they clearly understood that this young man in front of them, whom they thought that they could easily deal with, was someone far beyond their control. Lin Dong slowly lowered his hands upon witnessing this scenario. It seems like the deterrence that he had created previously was sufficient. This was what he desired. Otherwise, even his current self could only withdraw and hide when dealing with so many opponents. "Ha ha, Brother Lin Dong is truly shocking. If our mysterious Sky Hall has offended you in any way previously, I hope that you will forgive us." A lark-like lovely delicate laughter spread from below. After which, Liu Xiangshuan led a group of people from the mysterious Sky Hall and rose into the air. She smiled and spoke sweetly towards Lin Dong. Liu Xiangshuan had an extremely beautiful appearance and her frown and smile possessed a shocking temptation. Together with her smile, it was likely that any great fury within a man's heart would quietly dissipate. Lin Dong glanced at Liu Xiangshuan. His heart had actually skipped a beat because of her beauty. Immediately, he spoke with a faint smile. "Why is Miss Liu saying so? I am not such a narrow-minded person. The previous incidents were all just a misunderstanding. It is fine now that they have been resolved." Although Liu Xiangshuan's appearance was quite outstanding, it was still insufficient to affect Lin Dong's firm character. However, Lin Dong did not wish to offend a large faction like the mysterious Sky Hall. Hence, he was naturally happy to bury their grudges with a smile. Of course, he also understood that he could not forge a deeper relationship with them. Liu Xiangshuan is an extremely sensitive person and she could detect Lin Dong's indifferent tone. She quickly realized that her previous actions had left a bad impression and it was likely a little difficult for them to have a deeper relationship with him. She felt somewhat helpless in the face of this. However, being a diplomatic and quick-witted lady, she naturally did not want a bad relationship between them. Hence, she quickly laughed and said, "Brother Lin Dong's strength has soared. You are likely able to squeeze into the top 10 rankings on the chaotic demon sea rookie list. It is likely that you would achieve solid results if you join the lightning competition held by the Flame Divine Hall. Flame Divine Hall, Lightning Competition. Lin Dong's eyes narrowed after hearing these two terms. It's a grand martial arts competition organized by the Flame Divine Hall. It has already caused a great commotion in the chaotic Demon Sea. It is rumored that the champion will be able to obtain the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. Lin Dong frowned. He recalled what Mo Luo mentioned back then and came to a sudden comprehension. This was likely part of the latter's plan. As for that so-called Thunderbolt ancestral symbol, Lin Dong naturally knew that it was a fake that was created from a Thunderbolt ancestral symbol's essence strength. After all, the real Thunderbolt ancestral symbol was quietly sitting inside his body. If Brother Lin Dong is interested, you can head over there and join the fun. It is rumored that the top 10 individuals on the rookie list of the Chaotic Demon Sea have all headed over there for this competition. There would likely be a great fight that would shake the entire Chaotic Demon Sea. I will head over and take a look if I have the time. Lin Dong nodded in an indifferent fashion. Liu Xiangshuan knew that she should not keep talking to Lin Dong for long after witnessing his indifferent attitude. She continued to chat with him for a while before leading her people away. The other experts on the Sky Lightning Island also left one after another after they did so. As Lin Dong observed the crowd slowly leaving the noisy Sky Lightning Island, he stretched his lazy waist. The problems here have finally been dealt with. Big Brother Lin Dong, what do you plan to do next? Mu Lingshan smilingly asked. Lin Dong smiled and tugged the little girl's cute pigtail. After which, he lifted his head and looked towards the southern sky. His dark black eyes had a lightning flashing across them. To take back what belongs to me. He was aware of Mo Luo's plans. Hence, he knew that subsequently, the Flame Sea region would definitely become the most eye-catching region in the entire Chaos Sea region. News about the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol would definitely attract all sorts of people. Not only would various experts hurry over, but also those Yimo hidden in this world. Regardless, for such a grand event, he must go and take a look. This video will end here.